Call meeting to order. Roll call, we're missing two members tonight, Bob and Dave will not be here. Additions to the agenda, we have two additions, numbers 2 and 3 in the personnel. Any others?
Nope, that would be it.
Okay. With those additions, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion by Gretchen.
Second.
And second by Deb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5, move to approve or correct the minutes from the September 13th, 2012.
And it is actually, my fingers evidently weren't working real well when I typed that one up. It is September 11th, 2012. So,
September 11th.
so if you would make the corrections, that would be great.
Okay.
I do apologize to the board.
Any discussion or questions on the minutes? Motion to approve. Motion to Lou.
Second.
And second by Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving to the financial reports, we have the August 2012 Treasurer's Report and the monthly balance sheet. Bob, is there anything to point out on these?
No, I think it's all pretty straightforward. I think the one negative in reports really deals with workers' compensation, and that tends to stay in the negative. For most of the year now, we determine where we need to split that budget up into. But we do have a budget for it, so we're not concerned about that at all. Although I would say that I think workers' comp is an area that we do need to work on. We do pay an awful lot more than just about any district our comparable size. And I think that we need to do some education and work with our staff to make sure that they do things in an appropriate and safe manner. So it'll be something that I'll be talking with staff about.
Is there something that you had alluded to, that you were going to be talking to one of the carriers of ours and seeing if there's anything that we could be doing?
Yeah, I think really when I talk with carriers about it, it really comes to education of staff. So I think we need to look at programs to make sure, for instance, that our custodians are lifting with their legs and have a number of people there appropriate to what the object is that they're lifting. Being careful when you step out of your car, not that I wear heels, but it's not really helpful if you step out of a car with some heels on and it's in icy conditions. So I think it's really all working together to do what we can to lower that, because truly it's, in my opinion, it's just not a good use of our resources to be spending the kind of dollars that we are right now for workers' compensation. We just got an additional, the upper rates to another $10,000 this year. So I mean, truly, it really is out of control. So we need to do a better job. But it's about education.
So do you have any idea what you're going to do, or how you're going to?
No, I'm starting to look at some things and talk with some people about it. There's a number of different ways, from safety type of tapes to just, I mean, one of the most effective ways is to get small groups of people together and just talk about it. So I think that's probably going to be my hat.
Because I think a lot of times, like through OSHA and something like that,
Yes.
they have programs, they have people that actually come out and do ergonomic things for you and so on and so forth. I don't know if that would be something that we could look at.
Absolutely. Vic Schultz, who works with the district in regards to safety issues, we have discussed that, so we'll come up with a plan to bring forward to the staff.
You know, how long a time frame, are you putting a deadline on it?
Have not set a deadline at this point, but I'll come back to the board and give you some deadlines. It's I've been spending a little bit more of my time on the levy right now, so
No, I understand that, but sometimes it's nice to delegate it to maybe somebody else in your staff to.
I think the principals and I will work together with Vic to get that taken care of.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on the Treasurer's Report balance sheet? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Lou.
Second.
And second by Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And on to the bills. Mark, did you review the bills?
Yes, I went to the district office today and I did review the additional August and September bills. And out of those bills, I didn't see anything out of the norm for the time of the year, so I would make a recommendation to approve the bills as written.
Okay, a motion by Mark to approve the bills.
Second.
A second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to the consent agenda. We have lane changes and one athletic assignment. Any questions about that?
I would just mention to the board that originally we budgeted one lane change for this current year. We're about $25,000 to $30,000 past that is what it will cost the district. So just be aware of that by contract. These are all appropriate, but there were a lot more lane changes than we anticipated.
And why would that be? Because some of this stuff is,
But
they know about, right? Or
Well-
they should know about it, or administrators?
I would think that, not necessarily administrative, I think you have to ask the staff if they're making lane changes, so I don't know if in the past that has occurred or not. It's certainly something that, when I saw this happen, that it's something that we probably need to do a survey of staff at the end of each year, so that, or when we start the budgeting cycle,
Right.
so that we can say, if you're intending to make a lane change, we can budget for it.
Because it'd be nice to know exactly what this costs.
I can certainly get that to the board. When we figured it out, we got a couple more after I originally figured out my first, and I can't remember where I stopped. I think there were a couple more that came in after, originally it was 25,000. That's why I'm saying between 25 and 30 additional costs past to what we anticipated.
And I know that this is a contract thing, so there's nothing we can do about it, it's just
Yes.
being prepared for it, that.
That's correct, yes. I would much rather have that put into our budget.
Have you looked in the past? I mean, how many lane changes are there normally every year?
I did not check into the past, Linda. I don't know if you have a feel for that?
You know, I really don't. I know it's been less than this, but we also have younger staff now, and so you're going to see a lot more lane changes than you have in the last number of years.
Several years before that, this was not at large.
No, because you had a senior staff,
Yeah.
and now you've got, you know, a lot of those.
And more than likely, we're gonna probably see more of that, because I think the younger staff or the younger people are more apt to go get their master's degree and keep on going with that. Because as things get tighter, that's, the lane changes is where they can make their
Right,
advances.
and the other piece is that the same teachers really do want to continue to improve their instruction.
Yep.
And the courses that they're taking are very appropriate to help them become better teachers.
You bet. No, yeah, that's absolutely true, but we need to figure all that all out when we're doing the budgets.
It would have been nice to be closer than what we were.
Yep.
Okay, does that entertain a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
and second by Gretchen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number one under business, review and consider approval of the proposed 2012 payable 2013 levy limit certification report.
Just normal, we need to do to certify those levies. After the board approves, we do need to go on the website, do the approval at that time, and then we'll need to have it signed off, I believe, by Gretchen.
And this is the max as it stands right now, correct?
That's correct. I believe that can be changed, but at least for now, it is the max in those areas.
And we see that the payable 2013 voter approved referendum is coming off.
Yes.
That may go back up.
That, yes, if the referendum is approved, that sheet that you have in front of you will change. Because right now, it does show that the referendum is sunsetting and will expire. really that second sheet gives you a very good description on the levies, much more than the first sheet. I might mention also one of the reasons that we went from 41.29 in the health and safety dollars was that we did a number of big projects, including the kitchen. That's why it was such a large jump. And some of that was caused because originally some of those things were going to be taken care of in the Johnson Control piece, and when that wasn't, we did need to take care of some things, so that's why it went up a lot higher than what we had anticipated. Any questions from the board?
Okay, then entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion with Deb,
Second.
second with Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, review and consider approval of assurance of compliance with state and federal law prohibiting discrimination.
This is just a yearly event that takes place. It's mandated by the state.
Motion with Deb,
Second.
second by Luke. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And number 3, the first reading of the district goals for 12-13.
The board has had the goals and they've had a chance to take a look at them. There has not been a little change, there's been a little bit of verbiage changes in the goals as far as last year. I think the thing that's been added more are the baseline things that we'd like to establish. The board should be aware that those will continue to change to some degree. We may think of something that we might think it fits very well in there and add it to a baseline piece. So it could be a working document that changes as we continue to come up with information that the board would find appropriate to determine whether the district is indeed moving towards those goals or not. And I think as we start to gather, it'll be a big project for us this year, just because we haven't collected necessarily, I think the information's there, but I don't know if it's really been collected in a manner that is presented to the board. So it will take us some time to start to get that information together. And I think as we get it together, I think we'll do presentations and give the board information on those. But that's really the main change in this document for the most part, because we're talking about continuing to study additional learning opportunities which challenge all students, and that's certainly the goal. We want to meet the needs of our students who are struggling, but also meet the needs of our students who are achieving at a high level. Continue communication efforts and connecting with students and community. That goal pretty much has remained the same, and we do it through a number of ways, from newspaper articles to doghouse news to web pages, those types of things which we want to continue to improve. You collect baseline data, increase student achievement, which I think when we get our test scores and talk about that, that will certainly illustrate that. Operate an efficient budget. Those are the 4 main goals that have been in the past. I think other than us collecting baseline data, they've been about the same. And we can certainly go through these piece by piece if the board so chooses, but you have had them in your possession for a while.
So are you considering just bringing this back?
I'll bring it back. I think we should give you and the community a chance to read the goals, take a look at them. Certainly, even if the community has some feedback, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, if the board looks at them again and you think, why didn't I think of this, and bring that back. So I think at the next board meeting, I'll put it on the agenda again, and I would kind of like to finalize it at least for then. But like I said, to me, this is a working document. It should not be something that's static and we don't change. I think we should look at it and continue to work on those goals.
This was, we had a work session on that a month or so.
We did, that's correct. And we had talked about that, we had made some changes to the verbiage that we would like, and we talked about the baseline data that we wanted to collect. And that's kind of, this document is a result of that discussion.
All right, so we'll take it home unless anybody has any more questions right now.
Yeah, and certainly if community members have any suggestions or see something, would love to hear them. All you have to do is call me. So stop by.
One more thing, is this year going out to the staff then too? I'm assuming?
We'll eventually get to the staff after the board approves. We can certainly send it out as an attachment, have them give me suggestions also. That'd be fine. I will do that.
I won't hurt.
Nope, I think it's a
You know,
good
they
idea.
have to get the buy-in.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, so we will address that at our next meeting. On to personnel. Number one, review and consider approval of hiring Amanda Wards as payroll specialist.
We did interview, we did follow the process the board has established. We interviewed a number of candidates and it was a unanimous decision that we recommended Amanda. With an effective date of September 20th. She will start on Friday. And I think I mentioned to a couple board members, typically it has been a Monday through Thursday position. We do have some training to do with Amanda, so we are going to work some training in there on Fridays also.
Okay. A motion by Gretchen.
Second?
Second from Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number two, review and consider approval of maternity leave for Courtney Miller, effective approximately January 7th, 2013 to approximately February 19th, 2013. Should read.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Luke,
Second.
second by Deb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And number three, under personnel. Review and consider approval of extending the October 1st deadline for superintendent about due completion of the license to October 31st.
I can just give the board a little bit of information on that. It has been more than an adventure for me to get the paperwork from the university just so that we can send it to MDE so that everything is finished. The coursework is completed. I will get that information hopefully in the mail tomorrow, but then it still has to go to MDE, and that's the one concern. When I talked to MDE today, they believe that there won't be an issue. I'll just make it under the timeline and we'll have it done by Friday. Based on my past experience the last few weeks working on this one, I would appreciate it if the board would allow me to have a little bit more time just in case some kind of glitch occurs that I'm not foreseeing.
So moved.
Okay. So the contracts, there's a contingency on the contract that he hasn't had his license back to October 1st. We're extending that to October 31st. So there's no questions about that.
I believe that it will be done by Monday, but like I said, I've been working on this just in case. I would appreciate if the board is willing to do that.
And he's known for its speed at these things.
It's been an interesting journey trying to get the paperwork done.
Somebody made a motion.
I did.
A motion by Deb,
And I second it.
and a second from Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We've got some informational reports. Lou, what's the what?
We had a meeting Monday the 17th, September 17th, in Albany. And we'll spend some of the time on approval of the minutes, of course, the balance sheet and bills payable, but most of the time was spent on the contracts for the administrative team. Superintendent Brooks and Superintendent Dooley made some recommendations on the contract for, I believe it was Doug and Lori and Mara. And I don't know if you want me to go through the contracts. If anybody's interested, they could look at the draft I have. They've been froze, their contracts have been froze for 3 years. So they did get a pay increase, and their whole total package for, and most of the other stuff was remained the same, was a 2%. They did get some 403B, and I believe that was just, that was new, the 403B was new. And their health was the same, that stayed the same. And the other contracts, the non-certified people, they're working on those now. They gave us some information on that. I have some of that information, but that's linked to. If anybody wants to see that, I have all that. And I don't know, Bob, did you get any of this information?
I do have the packet. I think one of the things that we need to do, there was some confusion because we had switched who was going to attend the meetings, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure that you get the packets from now on also.
Yeah, they did get me, I didn't have it before I got there. But
Yes,
they gave me
so-
one when I got there. And other than that, oh, they talked about some new help for, let's see, I think the science program at the LC, and then, it's one of the more paperwork. Oh, yeah, then, Doug Milloway, he gave a report at the high school level, they have 38 students now, and that's probably, they don't want a whole lot more than that, that's probably about the max before they need more help. And the middle school level, the middle level, I should say, was down to 6. Now, if my understanding, correct me, Bob, but there's a cap on each school having so many,
I believe that's accurate, just to try to keep it
Try to
kind of
keep
equal,
it.
because we're all,
but they talked about trading, you know, or like, if we only had one, maybe Albany could have 3, that type of thing. So
usually there is a give and take by all the schools,
Yeah.
because we all run into different
they want to keep
circumstances.
that
Yes.
going too, I think, in the way they talked about that. And they want the kids to go the 5 days. Now evidently, if you can keep up your stuff, and keep up your grades, keep up your social skills, you can get by with 4 days in some cases. And I know some of the students on the van got away with getting off on a Friday, but they eliminated that as a 5
Yeah,
day.
I believe that's accurate.
And let's see. And I guess early childhood update that Ms. O'Connor, I guess her name has changed, I don't have the new name now, was higher. The numbers are higher, but there's no additional help requested, so.
That's accurate.
And that's about it. If you have any Doug mentioned they're having a new phone system put in over the, I believe, NBA. And that's gonna cost $3,200.
Yeah.
And they just highlighted some of the program changes. And our next meeting is November 19th in Melrose. Any questions? But if anybody wants to see the draft of the contract, I have.
So when raises are going, given out like that, it's absorbed by the 4 districts?
Yes.
Yes, 4
Okay,
days.
so do we know roughly what that comes to before everything's done and said?
Well,
Yeah.
you do ahead of time, but
I don't think I've seen that information yet from them.
no, the 2 superintendents did the negotiating.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks and Mr. Dooley, I think.
Yes,
that-
they did the negotiating. They brought this back and we approved it.
I do know that they have a pretty significant fund balance there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right,
So
but
I don't know if our contribution will change until they,
I guess that's what I'm more after, is
Yeah.
finding out when, or do we ever get notified if that contribution is changing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We would be notified about
I
that.
don't.
okay, I guess I've never heard it in the presentation before, so I don't know.
They'd have to go through considerable, they'd have to spin it down quite a bit before
Okay.
it would change.
Well, then that's probably why I haven't
There's
heard.
some of the fund
We haven't
balance
heard
too,
anything.
if you want to look.
No, I don't, that is about, I'm just worried about what's gonna come out of our school district funds.
Yeah, but I have not seen that yet, and it may be that they can absorb this, I'm not sure, I'd have to ask.
They,
Was that a different
they
meeting
could
that night?
possibly absorb it
Yeah.
all, yeah.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
But is that all considered when you're okaying all that stuff? I mean.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
There is discussion that takes place by the board members that are there and the superintendents that are doing it. I have looked at the document, I think that is a fair piece, considering that they haven't gotten much.
No,
I just want at the end of the day that I
At
know
the end
what
of the
we're-
day, we'll know exactly how it's gonna affect us.
Yes, that's what I want
Yeah.
to know.
Okay. Anything else? All right, thanks.
So,
Deb, C report.
Did you bring your packet?
No, I did not bring
Did
my
I? Mine's
packet.
in the car. Okay, so I remember the meeting, because it was only Friday, but I'm terrible at names. The gentleman that spoke first was with Dayton, he was his,
It's a business person, and the name eludes me right now also, but it's,
my saving grace is absolutely everything that goes on at the C meeting, you can go on to the C webpage and click on and get the full presentation. What I was very impressed with is that they actually, as an organization, took the time. In the past, you get information and they do what they call a run, and it's, a pack of pages, and you find your school and you try to follow it across like this. Now, everything on the web is the charts, graphs, everything that you need to explain your financial situation at your school district since 2005 is on the web, is on their webpage. You can go to see Paynesville School District, and it shows how the funds have been coming in from the state, how the levy's been coming in, how if the state had just kept up with just the regular 2% inflation, we should be getting over $2,000 more per pupil unit just on that alone. It's mind-boggling. But the other thing that surprised me was that he was sometimes when the politicians come in, especially when it's someone who's speaking for somebody else, they're a little guarded with what they say, or they kind of dance around the outside without really, you never hear them say, we're definitely gonna do this, but that's about as close as I've heard one come to saying that Dayton does believe that the C organization in every school district has a right to be upset because the state has not been providing their share. They haven't been providing what they promised, what they're constitutionally obligated, their duty to do. It was pretty.
yeah, there are truly only two things that our state constitution says that the state has to pay for. One is transportation, the other one is education. And it does talk about, kind of an equal, uniform educational system, which really is not right now. For those that aren't aware of C, it's an organization that looks at the inequalities that some districts have. For instance, Hopkins, if you had the same levy as we were to have, would generate a tremendous amount more of dollars than we do.
Those are the other charts that are on this, where you can go or on this information packet, and we know we have to put out the information, and it tells every taxpayer how much their taxes are gonna go up for that dollar amount. You can go in there and it has what that dollar amount would be in other districts. No, but I don't think that they're specific to each levy. I think it might just be more rounded numbers, like 1,000, if you're going up $1,000 levy, a $500 levy. I don't remember exactly how that's broken down. But you can see the difference, as in where in Paynesville you would pay this much per taxpayer, and how much some of the school districts, and you wonder why they have those. Some school districts have just enormous levies, and you think, how in the heck did they get that? Well, that's because they aren't even paying what we have to pay for what we get. Because there's no, at the time, without the general ed formula, or general ed levy, there is no, or very little equity. The general ed levy was fully equalized, and these ones aren't.
So what does the C do?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm supposed to come back and tell all you people, everybody here, everybody out there that's watching, that they need to get on this webpage, get informed, and get mad, and get after their legislators, because it isn't, we need to have, we all pay taxes, and it needs to be distributed equally. A student in Paynesville is just as important as a student in Edina, or a student in Roseau is just as important as a student in
Hopkins.
Hopkins. Why should some of them be some students be going, well, should I take orchestra in the 3rd grade or be immersion in Mandarin Chinese? And we're trying to figure out which one of our, what program are we gonna cut when we don't have any extras to cut, so.
Property-rich districts make a tremendous amount more than us or pay less for the same amount of dollars. And the C website does really give a lot of information on that. I would really encourage the community to go to that website.
They will also, if you are on the website and you sign up, you put your email address in, they will send you updates. So like, if you're sitting there over coffee talking to someone and you're mad and you heard that so-and-so's got a bill up and you want to know how it turned out, they'll keep you informed on all of that. They'll send that's what they do. They keep you informed on who's backing the schools and where the bills are and how they're doing.
And I think it'd be worth our time to have them come and present to the board so that the community can
There's
also hear
also-
some of that.
There's also a video on YouTube, and it's called The Pizza Formula.
Yep, I believe so.
It's just an entertaining little YouTube video that they put on, but it's very cute. They've done it with pizza, using pizza, something everybody knows. A guy walks up to the counter and asks for a pizza with the works, and the waitress or cook, whatever you want to call her, says, "Oh, you look like you're from the business district." Well, the pizza with the works for you, and she, has the big wooden thing, and she slides it on. There's this enormous pizza with all the trimmings, and it's $10, and he's excited and walks away. Well, right behind him, there's a girl standing in line. She says, "Wow," and she says, "I'll have a pizza with the works too." And she says, "Well, you look like you're from hometown." And she said, "Absolutely, I'm from hometown, whatever. And I want a pizza with the works too." And she said, "Well, that's gonna cost you $30. And she said, "Well, that's not fair. All they gave you, all I have is $10, just like he had $10. So then she reaches in the oven and pulls out this little, personal pizza with cheese on it and says, "Well, that's what you get for $10. And then they say, "Now that's what's happening to your school districts with our tax dollars." So,
And I
and
believe
they
that.
give the website and all that.
And I think that video is, they have a link from that website to that video. So.
Yes, it's cute. It's only a short one, but it's worth watching. It also has a web and how to get signed up for all that stuff. And then we did the regular business part of the meeting. They did kind of reorganize the executive board when still in line, but when I first got on it, there was the number of superintendents and board members that were on that board, because your first year, the president-elect, and then president, and then past presidents, they didn't have enough people to keep cycling them through, so they had to add a couple more. So they added 3 new positions to the executive board, and they also did contracts, and they readjusted Deb, and she's the community liaison person, and she's the one that comes out and works with the communities to get legislative groups put together, and they did up her hours because she does put on a lot of miles and a lot of hours and does a lot of work. They still have just the 3 actual employees, Brad, Dick Berkey, who does the books, and Deb. Brad is our, well, he's the executive director, but what does he do down with he's our legislative, what's the term?
Oh,
Lobbyist, there you go. And he stays very busy. And he also has a blog that's entertaining to follow when he's down there talking to the politicians. And then we had a little pitch from Give Minnesota, which I have to say, I was like, "Oh, wow, that sounds like great." Until Bob reached over and pointed to me. But they get a cut out of everything. It made it sound like all you do is sign up your school and then people could just go on there and, if they felt charitable that week, I get a few extra bucks and give it to you. They could just put it in an envelope and drop it off. Linda will take it and smile for you. And you don't have to give her 2% of whatever you donate. And now I'm done.
All right, thank you. Bob,
I think things are going very well at this point. Everything is up and running the way that we want it to be. Unfortunately, we did have another tragedy in the community. We had lost a student earlier, and now we've lost a parent of one of our students. That information hasn't been come out as far as when the wake or the funeral will be yet, but we have had that happen. Happened over the weekend. Otherwise, I did go to the C meeting. Also went to a meeting on the levy certifications. Met with my administrative team to talk about a number of smaller things. Homecoming's coming up, so that's becoming one of our more focuses. And evidently, I get my face painted because my elementary principal can't be there that day, so they donated my face in return, and then made sure that there were, I think, 5th graders versus the younger kids that would do it, because evidently they didn't paint David well enough last year, so I get to make up for that this year. I did do an interview with a high school student that was taped. I think the high school student did a much better job than I did. I think I was more nervous than she was, but I thought she did an excellent job. We're also starting to tape some just common questions for a website that Matt is putting together. So we'll put that on, just common questions, and I'll give an answer to it. So we did some taping. I need to take a look at them now to make sure I don't look too silly. But those will be on the website also attached to it. Our third article, I think, just came out and talked about what would happen if the levy fails. So I would encourage people to read that. I think the main gist of the levy is that I really want the public to become informed about the levy so that you can make an informed decision. So I have meetings that are set up, attend them. If you don't want to attend a meeting, stop by and visit with me. To make a vote either way without having the information, I just think is not right. So I'd encourage you to get the information before you go to make the vote on that referendum that we're asking for. Read the articles, gather the information. If you have questions, ask the questions. We got science test scores back. We were higher than the state average for all the science tests that we took. We do have some work to do, and again, we'll do a presentation for all the test scores that we've got to the board and to the community so that they can see the progress that we're making as a district. I think that's what I got.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else for the board tonight? Not meetings adjourned.
Live from Paynesville High School, this is BNC-TV, your Bulldog News Station.
Welcome back, fellow students. I'm Maggie Gilmore.
And I'm Chelsea Jansen, and this is BNC TV.
Welcome to our first broadcast of this school year.
We hope you all had a great summer and are ready for another exciting school year.
Now to some Bulldog news. Paynesville Area Schools has a new superintendent, Mr. Robert Hewitt. Emily Duran has a one-on-one interview with our new top dog.
This is Emily During from BNC TV with Mr. Hewitt, the new Paynesville Area School District Superintendent. Thanks for coming in today, Mr. Hewitt.
I'm glad to be here, Emily.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, for the last about 16 years, I have been either the assistant principal or the principal at North Junior High School in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Before that, I was principal at Melrose and a few other school districts. And before that, I was a science teacher. Taught both middle school students at one time and also high school students in the area of biology and physical science. I have 4 children, 1 young lady and 3 boys, but they are all on their own. They're all out on their own. They're have no children living at home. They're creating their own adventure at this time.
Why did you want to become a superintendent?
Well, I've been a principal or an assistant principal for the last 21 years. And I know a lot about running a building. I've been thinking about the last 2 years about the challenge that becoming a superintendent and looking at it from a more district perspective. So when I started thinking about that, this opportunity came up and I was lucky enough to get it, and I'm excited to start looking at things from a district perspective versus just a building perspective on how to improve a whole district versus just a building.
What do you like best about your new job in Paynesville?
The thing I've liked so far is really meeting the staff, the students, the parents, the community members. They've been very welcoming. It's just been an exciting time for me.
What's your new vision for the Paynesville Area School District?
Well, I really want to provide a program, help provide a program to all of the students no matter where they're at. I want to provide a great program for a student if they need additional support, or a great program for a student if they're a high achieving student and they need to have higher level classes. It's really about being one of the best districts in the whole state. I guess that's my vision.
Is there anything else you would like to tell or explain to the K-12 student body?
Well, I think one of my fears as I became a superintendent and decided to look at things from a district perspective is that I would lose contact with the students. So this is a great opportunity for me to meet one of the students. And I think if the students are out there and they see me in the crowd, I guess I just encourage them to come up, talk to me, so I keep that contact with the students, because that's one of the primary reasons that I got into this in the first place is to help students. So stop by, say hi, tell me what's going well, tell me what you'd like to see changed.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt, for your time.
Thank you very much.
This is Emily During reporting from BNC TV. Back to you, Mr.
Thanks, Emily. The German classes hosted 24 students from Ulm, Germany the first 2 weeks of school. We were able to visit with a few of the students and the instructors.
I'm Mr. Kunz, and I'm a PE and English teacher at the Humboldt Gymnasium in Germany. And this is our first time as instructors with the Americans coming here to Paynesville.
And I teach English and history back in Germany. Well, I think when I watch our students right now here, it is such a great experience to go abroad, to get some new experiences in a different country. So if they have the chance to come to Germany, I think they should try to do that anytime. And they're always welcome to come to work.
Yeah, one thing that most of the students mentioned and that I really always am amazed about is that the students identify with school so much in the United States, because in Germany school starts at 8 and stops at 1, and then school is over for the rest of the day, and all the kids do their sports activities in clubs. It's not in school. So that's one thing that the German students really liked, and also the students being so open and friendly. I think one thing maybe that some of the students could still improve on or think about in the future is to really concentrate on what's happening outside of the U.S. a little more, just to keep everything in perspective and from an objective point of view, look at what's going on in the world. Yeah. We're really happy for the opportunity to be here. We're really enjoying. All of the students are so happy. Couldn't be better so far.
And we'll probably be back in 2 years.
Yep, hopefully.
That the people are more open-minded and more crazy, and the school system is very different. I think it's better because every teacher has his own room, and I like it.
And I think the school is really different because we have no sports teams or something like this. So in Germany, the most people hate school, I think, or don't like it. And here, I think they like it a bit more.
The biggest difference is the school, because every teacher owns a room and all the sports activities are in the school, and you have practice right behind the school.
And the pupils identify themselves with the
You have so many cars and that kind of thing. Yeah.
And the teenager life, I think, because in America you have more freedom.
Yeah, you're allowed to drive in the age of 16 and we have to wait until we're 18.
I like the people. They are very nice and friendly to everybody, and they are very interested in Germany. So about the German culture and everything.
I think it's everything together because it was just amazing, the whole trip,
Yeah. And the hospitality of our host families.
I think it's not so big, but not too small. It's right. There's all you need and not too much, so it's really cool.
Little and sweet. Everybody seems to know each other.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
It looks like the whole city is like a big family.
I wanted just to say thank you to everybody here, for being so friendly to us and helping us, with the language and everything.
Yeah, Paynesville is very cool, and America is cool.
America is so cool.
There's a new face in the 6th grade rating this school year. Middle school reporters Jacob Bertram and Brendan Gunnarsson have more on this story.
Hi, I'm Jacob Bertram. And I'm Brendan Gunnarsson with BNC News, and we are here with Mr. Ryder, the new 6th grade teacher here at Paynesville Middle School. Thanks for coming today, Mr. Reiner.
Thank you.
Where and what subject did you teach before you came to Paynesville School?
Well, I was a 5th grade teacher at Fertile Beltrami School, which is up by Crookston, Ada area. I taught there for 8 years, and I taught a little bit of every subject. So we taught math, science, social, everything all in one classroom all day. So I had the same students all day.
Okay. You graduated from Paynesville, right?
Correct.
What made you come back?
Well, I love the school, I love the area. My wife and I lived here when we were going to college, and she always wanted to come back to this area as well. So when the job opened up, we thought, well, maybe now's our time to go for it. So we got the job and decided to make the move, and we love being close to St. Cloud and close to Minneapolis. We like to go to Twins games and Vikings games and spend time at the lakes and outdoors as a family. So that's what brought us back to this
What
area.
advice would you give a student if they wanted a career in teaching?
It's a very enjoyable career. You have every day is different. You get to help mold the futures of all the students, and it's just a fun place to be with the kids.
This is Jacob Bertram and Brennan Gunderson reporting for BNC News. Back to you in the studio.
The ECFE held their annual Fall Carnival on September 11th. This episode of BNC TV. Our new format is just 10 minutes to fit into the advisor time, so look for 2 episodes a month this year. Remember that you can view this episode and our past episodes, as well as many other district videos on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paynesville Studios. We will also try to post extended interview videos on our future stories this year.
If any of you are interested in being a part of our BNC TV team, please see Mr. Dickhausen in the Community Education Office for an application. We are in need of a high school anchorman and a video editing specialist. I'm Maggie Gilmore.
And I'm Chelsea Jansen. From all of us at BNC TV, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Going to Boundary Waters.
Summer was going camping with my friends.
Colorado.
Going on a Spanish trip to Costa Rica.
My daughter got married is when I went to Florida. It was Florida.
Points to look.
I got to spend a lot of time with my 3 grandsons.
Hanging out with friends. My summer vacation from school.
Good job at Amazing Farmer.
Playing with my cat.
Getting a scholarship. We're going to Seattle with my family.
Me and my wife got to take a vacation to Hawaii.
I went climbing in Denard, Canada.
Was taking my kids to Valley Fair.
To Washington, D.C.